Now we're going to speak with Vance Ginn, the president of Ginn Economic Consulting. Good morning, Vance.
Hey, good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Do you agree with Dimon's position, disagreeing with this optimism about the economy?
Well, I do. I think that there are a lot of concerns across the economy, whether you look at retail spending, which is growing just as fast as inflation. So inflation-adjusted spending is basically flat. You see inflationary pressures continue to go up, was up 3.7% year over year. That's 2 straight months that have been increasing compared to had gone down since 9% last year. So that's also a concerning factor. We have interest rates that are soaring. And this week, the poverty rate also came out for 2022, and that showed that real household income was down again. That means it's the lowest since 2018. And so people are suffering across the economy, and this is not a good situation when you have more government spending, more deficits overall, and more money creation in the economy. This is a recipe for a disaster.
And there is some troubling news now with the job creation rate slowing down a little bit here too. So what about the Fed's rate hikes? They've been pretty aggressive over the last year. How is that going to affect consumer demand?
Well, that's a great point, and it's something that we have been seeing where, the interest rate was 0%, the one that they target, the overnight lending rate between banks, that's now up to 5.5%.
Yeah, you have to address the reality of the situation here. According to Deloitte, consumers are worried about their savings and their spending intentions are seeing a downtrend here. But is there any positive in this?
Well, I think something you want to look at is when you see inflationary pressures go up, you see the labor market cooling and being cool overall, you start to look for, save for a rainy day. And a lot of these pandemic-related emergency expenditures on welfare and safety net programs, a lot of those are now expiring and have been expiring over the past year. And that's one reason why we're seeing a dip in a lot of spending as well, because they don't have that inflationary measures with welfare and everything else that's in their pocket like they once had.
It's always good to have a little bit of extra savings in the bank. Now, an indicator of consumer confidence puts the reading at about 80, and this is usually indicative of a coming recession. What do you think about this?
Yeah, when you look at a lot of these numbers out there, you'll indicate, well, this number maybe should be closer to 100 if you look at the Michigan consumer sentiment. And so if it's closer to 80, then that does indicate a lot of pessimism, not optimism in the overall economy. And I think you'll see that even when you look at a lot of the polls of how Biden's doing with the economy and things of that nature, it's not good. And when we see inflationary pressures starting to go back up again, that's going to put pressure on people. And since President Biden became president, the gas prices are still up 50%. Food prices are up 20%. Inflationary pressures are about 17%, and average weekly earnings, they're only up 11%. So this is why people can't keep up just over the last couple of years, and this is putting a lot of pressure on households and making them feel less optimistic about the future. So I do think that we're going to have a pretty hard landing, and unfortunately that's going to mean a lot of job losses across the economy, but I'm hopeful that we can get back to a stronger economy with more pro-growth measures of less government spending, less regulation, and less money printing. And you know what? That will really create more economic prosperity across the country.
Some great solutions there. Vance Ginn, president of Ginn Economic Consulting, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Have a great day.